Dope, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Yo, bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most. I tell her, little bitch, she so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me. Niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
I opened my eyes, as it seemed I'm in a new world. But how did I even get here? I was just in the king's palace. Wait a minute. It's starting to come back to me. That's right. I was killed. Framed for killing the king's son. But I did no such thing to Arthur. Looks like I was given another chance to live out a new life. This man holding me must be my father. And this woman next to me, she's my mother. She looks weak and fragile. But I guess I can't speak since I've been alone throughout my last childhood, so this is a better start than before. Wait a minute, that means I'm a baby right now. The baby Naruto holds up his hands looking at how small they were. Great. All my abilities and skills are now gone. The night would play out as usual, with Naruto watching the entire thing go on this time. Well, it seems I'm back at square one, and now I have this strange fox within my body. Naruto grows up within the same environment. However, he is not the same. He's more intelligent and seems to understand the concept of chakra pretty well. I'm only 4 right now, but this world doesn't seem to have the awakening ages like my old. Maybe that means I can access a lot of power from my young age. I've learned that the Uzumaki clan does possess an abundance of this world's magic or chakra reserves. So it really shouldn't be a problem for me to learn how to do things in this world. This world also uses strange hand signs instead of incantations, but the process should be the same nonetheless. I've memorized all of them already, so I just need to practice a little bit now. What would be a good first step though? Naruto then goes to the office of the Hokage. Hey Lord Third, what do shinobi do to access their chakra? The Hokage found the boy's strange questions almost amusing. A shinobi usually learns how to walk on water and trees with their chakra, but that's usually after they become a genin. So you have a long time to wait, Naruto. Naruto leaves the office and he finds a tree far away from anybody else. Alright, so this should be simple enough. Naruto does the hand signs and he closes his eyes for a second. He then sees it. Wait, there's no way this world has it as well. I can see my chakra through envisioning it, but why is it blocked off? Don't tell me it's because of that fox. Damn it, I knew it would be important. No wonder my father left it to me. But I completely forgot about it. I was so focused on becoming stronger. Maybe I can still use some of my chakra, just not all of it. The concept doesn't seem to be difficult at all, actually. All I have to do is place chakra on the bottom of my feet and walk up the tree. Naruto gives it a try and is able to do it on the first go. He walks up the tree and then sits on a branch. Something doesn't feel right. I'm using too much chakra to walk up the tree. I need to figure out how to use the smallest amount. Even though I do have a lot of chakra, I shouldn't waste any of it, truly. Naruto spends the next hour doing this, and then he hears a noise. He goes over to see one person training. He had dark hair and red eyes. He was basically teleporting all throughout the training grounds while he hits the targets around him with a kunai. What is that ability? Naruto watched closer to see the hand signs that he was doing, but he still didn't understand how to do it. He then goes up to the older teen. Hey, can you teach me that? Shisui, then turns to the yellow-haired boy. You want to learn the body flicker technique? I'm sorry, kid, but I don't think someone your age will be able to do it successfully. How about we make a deal then? If I'm able to learn the body flicker, as you call it, you'll teach me more techniques, and if I can't, I'll leave you alone. Shisui shows him how to perform the body flicker technique and explains that he's a master of it. What surprised him, though, was the fact that Naruto was able to perfectly replicate it. He was just a lot slower than Shisui, but that's to be expected. Naruto used it to jump from branch to branch around the area, hitting each target with a kunai just as Shisui did. The jaw of the teen would then drop while watching Naruto appear right in front of him once again. What's next? Naruto learns all types of fire style and lightning jutsu from Shisui, and at the end of the day, Naruto gets up. Hey Shisui, let's keep this between us. I don't need anyone else knowing my true potential just yet. Naruto then uses the body flicker to return to his apartment, and he decides he should do something about the fox. How do I even access the location of where the fox is? He's sealed within me, so do I have to undo this seal on my stomach? Naruto decides to learn the transformation jutsu, and it doesn't take him long to do it. 3 days later, he uses it to sneak into the Hokage's office while Hiruzen was not there. Within the building, there were rooms with scrolls, but first, he needed to learn more about the world that he lives in. Naruto finds documents on the tail beast and the Jinchuriki. After reading, he heads to a room that had scrolls in it. He looks around and finds scrolls on sealing jutsu. The process reminds me of the armor incantations from my old world. However, these are used on people. I should be able to learn it. Naruto leaves out the window and goes to a forest. He has a blank scroll with him and begins to write on it. Maybe I can create a communication link with another seal. Naruto then places his hand down on the scroll once he finished the seal, as his stomach would now have different characters around it. Naruto then falls unconscious and wakes up in water. He gets up looking around this dark room. Seems as if it worked, but where's the fox? Naruto then turns around and sees a giant jail cell, and he would smirk. He's definitely in there. Naruto walks up to the cage, and he sees the red eyes with a slit. The fox then gets closer. How did you access this place? I simply created a new seal to link communication between us. Naruto then lifts up his shirt, and the beast snarls. You know, for someone so powerful, you look pretty weak behind that cage. The Nine Tails then roars at the boy. But that's the thing. I don't desire to keep you in that cage. I've done my research on the tail beast and the past Jinchuriki. In the past, you seem to be used like a puppet. I think we should change that and break the cycle. So how about you enter an equal beast contract with me? The Nine Tails wondered what the boy meant, and Naruto would explain. I'll modify our current seal, and then we'll become equals. You will have full access to your power, and I'll have full access to the rest of my chakra. This contract will free you from that cage, and you can choose if you want to help me or not. I will never make you do so, because I don't care. I plan to get stronger in this world with or without you. The Nine Tails agrees, but he secretly plans to take over the body of Naruto once the new seal was created. Naruto leaves his mind and begins to work on the new seal for about a week before returning to Kurama. The beast was now free as the seal was already applied, and he tries to take over the body of Naruto. However, golden chains would appear from the water and surround the Nine Tails and hold it. What is this brat? I thought we formed an equal contract. We did, but I made some precautions. If either of us tries to use the other in in any way without an agreement, these chains will appear. Naruto then waves off the chains as he sits down in front of the beast. Now, tell me about yourself. You seem to have a personality which wasn't on any paper, so I guess no one really talked to you. Do beasts like yourself have a name? How long have you been alive, actually? Who was your strongest Jinchuriki? I'll surpass him. Wait, are all the tail beast foxes like you? Shut up, brat. You ask too many questions, and I do not care to answer any of them. Whatever. Now that we have an equal contract, I can finally access what I've wanted this whole time. A blue ball of chakra, then floats to Naruto as he absorbs it. Thanks, Fox. You'll be able to talk to me whenever you want. Just try to communicate with me. I'll be able to hear you. Until then, I'll see you later. Naruto wakes up in his apartment and then goes out to train the next day. He immediately sees the difference, being able to access all of his chakra reserves with no problem. But something feels like it's still missing. My past life. I was not only a capable mage, but I was also a world-class swordsman. Maybe those physical skills actually transferred to this world. Naruto goes to the Hokage's office. Hiruzen wonders what the boy could now want to ask. Hey Lord Third, can you get me a sword? I'll see what I can do, Naruto. Would you like an instructor as well? No thanks, just a sword. The blade should be light, however the hilt should be very sturdy. The blade should be also a medium length as well, nothing too long or too short like a dagger. Hiruzen is shocked by the knowledge that this child has, as this sets off some alarms within his mind, and he decides he needs to keep a closer eye on what he does. After Naruto leaves, he would call for the last remaining student of the late 4th Hokage. Kakashi Hatsuki would later walk into the office. Yes, Lord Third, you requested for me. Perfect, you're right on time, Kakashi. I'd like you to keep a strict watch over Naruto for me. He's a prodigy in the making. However, I believe that he's concealing some things about himself from us. Report back to me on anything that you find on the boy. Kakashi nods, leaving the office. Well, he is the son of a Kage, so he might be stronger than most kids his age, but should he really be watched over strictly? Over with Naruto, we see him creating a water jutsu. Water style, water serpent. Naruto does the hand signs and extends his arm, and he has its palm open. The snake then rises from the lake, as it swirls around with power and launches towards the trees in a different area. The snake then leaves hollow holes in about 6 of the trees. Nice. This one seems to be perfected as well. Hey, Brat. Oh, what's up, Fox? I can sense someone approaching this area. You're drawing too much attention to yourself. Great. I guess now I can finally really use the jutsu that Shisui taught me. Naruto does the hand signs and vanishes from this area with the body flicker. Kakashi walks through the forest and sees the destruction that was left. Wait a minute. Wasn't Naruto just in this area? Where is he? No. There's no way he could do something like this at that age. Months then go by of Kakashi keeping track of Naruto's destructive power. On his 5th birthday, the boy was gifted a sword by the Hokage. Naruto began his sword trading with an instructor that was forced on him by Hiruzen. The instructor shows Naruto how to swing the blade and the boy yawns. Let's just skip to sparring. He then uses the body flicker and swings the blade right at his instructor, who would block. Not so fast, my pupil. The instructor watches Naruto vanish again as this time he swings the blade that was now glowing. He cuts through the blade of his instructors, and he stops right before almost cutting him in half. I don't need lessons from someone who can't even protect himself. Kakashi, who was watching this, notices Naruto's presence. He didn't feel like a child at all. Naruto gave off the pressure of a seasoned warrior. Naruto then continues to train on his own, and any instructor that was sent his way was defeated. While out in a forest at night, Naruto then talked to the Nine Tails. Hey Brat, since we do have an equal contract, I'll test you. If you can truly handle a small amount of my power, then I'll allow you to access some of it. Naruto appears in his mind where the fox was. So what's the test then? The fox then releases some of his own chakra as it begins to slowly creep up on Naruto, consuming him while starting at his feet and completely covering him all the way to his hair. Naruto then opened his eyes. This was truly strange. He was in his past life, but he was a kid. He was back in the magical institution where they bred gifted warriors and trained them until adulthood. He was given a chance at many times to rage out and kill those who abused him, but he always stopped himself. He watched as all of his friends would die throughout the academy, as if you weren't strong enough, you would be killed, and some just couldn't handle that pressure. In fact, he even tried to live a better life than he did before. His best friend was then killed in front of him once again, and Naruto still didn't let his anger consume him, as he's already done that once. He was then awakened, standing right before the fox once again. Seems like you were able to overcome your own hatred. This was a simple test though. Now I can trust you to some degree to use my power and not use it for your own selfish desires. Naruto then wakes up in a forest and looks around as he would smile. I guess I have a new ability now. Naruto's eyes then become red with a slit, as his whiskers then become sharper. The orange aura then appears around him, but he's not enraged. A perfect one-tailed chakra cloak appears around his body. It's not jagged or flowing in a fiery manner. It's completely calm. Kakashi, who was watching this from afar, wondered if he should engage. But Naruto then vanished before his eyes. Kakashi was then kicked out of the tree into the open area, as Naruto would then release the power of the tailed beast. So, you're the one who the fox has been telling me about. I must say, you're very hard to find, and pretty sneaky. However, thanks to this new power I can access, I could sense you from miles away. Why have you been following me? Kakashi decides to just tell Naruto. I've been tasked by the Hokage to keep tabs on you. He believes you truly are an amazing prodigy. Rightfully so. That's it? He just wants to know how strong I am? Is it because I am the son of the late 4th Hokage? Kakashi's eye would then widen. Naruto, how do you... It's a long story, but that's the reason why I don't care if you keep tabs on me. Just stay out of the way of my training. Actually, since my cover is blown now, why don't I help you with some of your training? Naruto then turns back to Kakashi with a smile. For another 2 years, Naruto trains under Kakashi, and he actually becomes a genin at the age of 7. Due to no teams being available for him, Naruto would actually have to wait for his classmates, or his original classmates, to graduate. However, one day Hiruzen calls him into his office. Naruto arrives to see Kakashi and a white-haired man who turns to him. Naruto, you'll be leaving this village to train with Jiraiya, your new sensei. Naruto then looks at the man. What makes you think you can train me? I trained your father, that's why. Naruto then chuckled a little bit. I hope you realize that I am very different from that man. But I'll go get ready and meet you at the gate. Naruto raises one hand and uses the body flicker to then vanish from the room, as they were all shocked. Naruto gets his stuff and goes to the gate of the village where Jiraiya was waiting. Where are we going? To a special place where no one can interrupt your training. 5 years would then go by as we see Naruto walking towards the village gate with Jiraiya. So, this is where we finally part ways. Yes, my student. I have much more research to do. Shut up, you perv. Make sure you tell Lady Tsunade, hey, if you see her before I do. Jiraiya smiles and walks away while Naruto would enter the village. The first person he is greeted by is Kakashi. As the first thing Kakashi notices is the orange fox that now sits on Naruto's shoulder. Welcome back, Naruto. You seem a lot stronger than before. Naruto then pauses for a moment and goes into a deep monologue. Yeah, I'm definitely a lot stronger. Thanks to Master Jiraiya and Lady Tsunade and the Toads, I've learned Sage Mode and all types of jutsu. It sucks that I'm stuck at this low rank for a while, but it shouldn't be hard for me to climb the ranks. Kakashi then takes Naruto to his new team as they were already waiting on him. They go to the rooftop of a building, and Naruto doesn't really know anyone his age due to his constant training. He also left the village before he even started the academy. So this was the first time he actually met Sakura and Sasuke, and this was the first time they got to meet Naruto. They go through the usual, and Kakashi gets to Naruto. I haven't thought about any goals yet. I guess I'll figure them out when it does happen. Kakashi would give a smirk and tells him to be ready for their test tomorrow morning. The next day, Team 7 would meet up, and Naruto tries to make small talk with his teammates while they wait on their sensei. He learns a lot about the two of them and how they haven't trained that much. So the academy would have been a waste of my time. Glad to know I didn't have to go. Their sensei arrives late and explains the rules of the bell test. Getting the bells shouldn't be hard. This task seems a little too easy. Kakashi knows my strength surpasses his own or rivals it. So why would he make the test this easy? Wait a minute. This is my first time being on a team. I've never had to work with anyone else. Kakashi does look like the type of person to want his students to rely on each other, but in the end, he should know that that'll make us weaker. The test begins as Naruto uses the body flicker to create clones. Each of his clones then surrounds Kakashi and attacked him. Sasuke jumped in as well using the fireball jutsu. The sensei kicked one of the clones away as he puts up a mud wall. It blocks the flames, but then Naruto begins running towards a wall. Rasengan! The ball of chakra then breaks through the mud wall and makes direct contact with Kakashi, who instantly substitutes with a log. Naruto then looks back at Sakura, who was still standing in the same place as when they started. Hey Sakura, in case you forgot, you're part of this team as well, so try to keep up with me and Sasuke. Hey Sasuke, how good's your taijutsu? The Uchiha says better than Naruto could believe. Good, because we're going in for a straightforward attack. Make sure you follow my lead. Naruto's eyes go red for a moment as he uses the ability of the Nine Tails to sense the chakra around him. He finds Kakashi and then looks to Sasuke. Jump! The Uchiha and Naruto flip into the air while watching Kakashi come from the ground below them. He tries to grab their ankles, and as soon as he does, Naruto performs hand signs. Fire style, wall of flames. This jutsu forces Kakashi to take an early landing, as Naruto and Sasuke would stand side by side. We need a good distraction. This is when they both notice Sakura in the bushes behind Kakashi. She jumps out to try and grab the bells, and Kakashi turns his head to stop her. In this fraction of a second, Naruto reacts. He uses the body flicker to not only grab the bells, but get Sakura out of the way as well. The yellow-haired boy then appears right next to Sasuke once again, this time holding the bells. Kakashi would tell them that they passed due to their teamwork, as Naruto's theory was correct. He then points out the great synchronization between Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke here doesn't mind Naruto at all. He's stronger than him, yeah, that's fine. But this serves as a goal for Sasuke to meet. If he can surpass Naruto, then he'll go for Itachi next. Team 7 then goes on their missions as usual, which leads to the bridge builder. They go to the Hokage's office, where Tazuna waited. He will be brought out, drunk as ever. As he begins to talk bad about the team, none of them seem to care. Naruto then thinks to himself, instead of speaking. He reminds me of the snobby royals from my old life. Arrogant fools who think they're above everyone else. Team 7 departs from the Leaf Village and begin their journey to the Land of Waves. As Naruto summons Kurama, everyone on his team was shocked and had a different reaction. Sakura picks up the small fox and thinks it's cute that Naruto has a pet. He's not my pet, he's my partner. Kurama then holds up one of his paws to show the contract seal that matches the one on Naruto's stomach. Kakashi then turns to his student. What kind of contract did you make with the strongest tailed beast? An equal contract, and since then we've bonded. He allows me to use his power, and I don't really think I'd need all of it for this type of mission. They continue on the path until Kurama tells them to stop. What is it? From each side, 2 chakra signatures are near us. Naruto looks at Sasuke as the two would then move on instinct. Each of them blocks an attack from one of the Demon Mist brothers. Naruto swings his blade and the shinobi tries to block. However, Naruto's blade is surrounded by chakra as it cuts through the kunai and allows Naruto to slash across the chest of his opponent. Meanwhile, Sasuke was going back and forth with his until he lands a strike, which leads to a solid kick and then an uppercut. The Demon Mist brothers were defeated as Naruto would then turn to Tazuna. So do you want to explain this? The man feels the presence of Naruto. Could he really be a kid? His aura was more intense than the Hokage himself. Tazuna then answered all the questions out of fear. This is when Kakashi asks his team if they want to continue on, and Naruto smirks. Let's keep going. I want to see if my training has made me a strong fighter after all. Once the group arrives in the Land of Waves, Naruto gets another alert from Kurama. This is when a sword comes flying at everyone, as Naruto uses the body flicker to dodge while everyone else would duck down. The sword lands in a tree where Zabuza stands looking down at them. He then feels that something is off, as his head is then cut off by Naruto, who reappears. The head and body fall to the ground as Naruto swings his blade to get blood off of it. Jeez, he was pretty slow. I haven't even shown off my full speed either. Kakashi then looks at Naruto. What kind of training could Lord Jiraiya have him do to make him this strong? He's way ahead of anyone his age, and he's taken down a high-level ninja just by outspeeding him alone. Wait a minute. Could Naruto be stronger than me? Naruto looks at Kurama, kneeling down to him. This mission's pretty boring, isn't it? He says while petting him. The fox nods, but telepathically tells Naruto that someone else is also approaching. Yeah, I can sense this one too. Large ice spikes then start to rise towards Naruto as he turns his head, swinging his blade. Windblade Barrage. This attack cuts through all of the ice. Naruto then sees the masked figure. Oh, it was you. Good to know. Naruto's eyes would go red with a slit as he then used the body flicker once again, this time with a new speed that was hard for even his teammates to see. He then gets close to the masked figure, and it appears as if ice strikes through his body, but Naruto vanished as the masked man then feels something in his chest. It was the hand of Naruto. As he pulls it out, the masked man then falls to the ground. No one on his team could even react to this threat, but Naruto took care of it in less than 30 seconds. The Land of Waves arc from here is pretty boring actually. Team 7 still does get their training in, which helps Sasuke and Sakura learn tree walking in water or standing on water. Once they did return to the bridge, they could easily beat Gato and his henchmen. The bridge is still named after Naruto, as now they will return to the Leaf way earlier than they did in the original. When they make it back to the Leaf Village, Kakashi goes to report on the mission. And Naruto goes to claim his money from the bingo book, as he decides to move apartments. After, he continues to train on his own. Team 7 would later have a meeting about the tuning exams, as they all agree to be in it. When the exams did start, they would head to the testing room and encounter Rock Lee. Since Rock Lee, or pretty much anyone, doesn't know that much about Naruto, he still goes for Sasuke, as Sasuke would lose this small skirmish that they had. This is when they would go on to find the real testing room and they would have the written test. Easily Team 7 passes and they would go on to the Forest of Death. They head in and Naruto uses Kurama's ability to track down another team. It was Team Guy. Naruto then smirked. "Look at that, Sasuke. You can have your little rematch." Naruto jumps down and appears right in front of Neji. He pulls back his fist as Neji would try to block, but Naruto, when his fist makes contact with Neji's arm, it breaks and sends him flying throughout the forest. Tenten tries to go help, but Sakura puts her in a genjutsu, where she's getting beat up by Team 7. It wasn't anything crazy strong, but it allowed Sakura to knock her out. Naruto then looks up into the trees and sees Sasuke losing to Rock Lee once again. Sakura then yells out that she has a scroll, and Naruto gives her a thumbs up. Rock Lee then swings his leg down, but this time, it's caught by Naruto. Naruto then punches him in the face and knocks him out. Alright, let's go. Team 7 then starts to make their way to the tower when Naruto can sense someone else. "You two keep going. I'll catch up pretty soon." Naruto turns around and begins running towards someone else. Orochimaru was tailing Team 7, but then he had his arm cut off. He turns around to see Naruto now standing behind him. "Let's make this quick. My team is waiting on me, and I don't want to be at the low rank of Genin forever." Orochimaru tries to attack, but he's blitzed by Naruto and hit by a Scorch with Sengon that burns his body, as Naruto would then cut him in half vertically and leave his body there. He then used the body flicker to catch up to Team 7, who was waiting at the tower. And they're one of the first teams to actually make it there. They have a lot of time to rest, so they begin waiting on the rest of the teams, but the preliminary matches are still announced. All the matches would go on as usual, as none of them would really be changed except for two, I think. Naruto versus Kiba, as Naruto really takes the win easily here. As the other match that changes is Hinata versus Neji, who has a broken arm, as the win would go to Hinata here. The month of training would go on, as the first match of the second round would be Naruto versus Hinata. Naruto makes this pretty easy on her and just knocks her out. Gaara would still rage out here, but there is a smaller attack on the Leaf due to just by the sand, since Orochimaru is technically dead here. Naruto finds Gaara and makes his steel a lot stronger, which solves the problem. And here the Hokage doesn't die. Days after the attack, two people would return to the village, Tsunade and Jiraiya, as they came to check up on Naruto, their student. And since they didn't have to go get Tsunade, Kisame and Itachi would just invade the Leaf. However, Naruto and Jiraiya would find them, which causes them to retreat after being found so easily. But here, Naruto also decides to stay in the Leaf and train instead of leaving with Jiraiya. And here is where I plan to end the story for now.